everybody, this is Dan for GemmyD on Cars. Now bear with me, it is a super windy day. It's like 35 degrees out here, but I am back in my home away from home. This is Sun Motors BMW. They're getting some construction work done right now, but we are here today to look at a car that I am so excited to drive. This is a 2017 BMW m240i. Now this car, the body is the entry-level BMW sports coupe, but this one is raised up a little bit with lots more power. Now this is just one notch below an M2, which in my mind is pretty much a perfect car. It's a small rear-wheel drive, 3-liter turbo 6-cylinder, 340 horsepower, 369 foot-pounds of torque. So this car has some serious power for a car that is small as it is, and I love the proportions of it. I think this might be one of the more underrated cars that BMW makes. So we're going to take a look at this bad boy, so let's take a look. Almost the perfect car. M2, we know is so much more power. The competition package has over 400 horsepower now. This has 340, but just the size of this car is what makes it such a sweet little package. Now this is rear-wheel drive, it's turbo 6-cylinder. You've got the M Performance brakes, you've got M Performance suspension, you've got the caps right there. You've got the familiar BMW face, and I like how they still do not have the headlights that line up to the grills like they're doing with new BMW design language. But this is an aggressive looking front end. I love the angel eyes right here. No fog lights needed, just nice little aggressive fascia, and it looks really good. I'm sure the next generation will have kidney grills that are a little bit bigger than this, which is fine. I know the bigger SUVs like the X5 has grills that are huge, but you've got the typical BMW Rental, and I love this car finished in red. Finished in a nice blue would be good too. But yeah, it's just a small little sports car that is made for driving. It's a pure driver's car. But just look at the proportions of this. Now, a 3 Series and a 4 Series coupe, which are over there, it just looks a little bit more elongated than this, and this just has a nice small stature. I mean, you've got back seats. I mean, so you could, if you have kids, you can put your stuff back there. But this car, 340 horsepower, it is $38,500, which is an insane deal. Melbourne Red, I thought that's what it was. So now, going back to the back, now you've got more aggressive rear bumper than the other cars. You've got a 228, which is nothing like this car for performance, but you've got the 2 exhaust pipes. It sounds so good. So here is a cold start of a BMW m240. Talk a little bit about the naming of this car. This one is a 240. Now, a couple years before this, it was known as the m235i. Now, that car has 320 horsepower, but since they've changed the nomenclature, they've changed the engine too, meaning this engine in this car, which is a 3-liter straight 6, they also use in the other cars too, like the X3 M40i and X4 M40i, all have the same engine as this car, 340 horsepower. Those are tweaked a little bit differently. I think the horsepower is a little bit higher. But yeah, this car has a recipe to be a unbelievable driver's car, performance value really. This is a 17 now. 2018 they had mid-cycle refresh with a little bit different taillights. They're just a little bit different, but these still look good. So yeah, all the makings are there for a wonderful driver's car. So I'm cold. Let's go on the inside and check this thing out. All right, here's the engine of the m240. This is BMW M Performance. Everybody has a plastic cover over here, but yeah, this is a 3-liter, 340 horses live underneath there, 369 foot-pounds of torque. You would think a car this small would have, you know, like a turbo 4-cylinder engine, but not this. BMW is known for their 6-cylinder engine, so this is it. When I was inside the car, I mentioned other cars that I haven't driven many sports car coupes, but I just thought of, I drove a Mercedes-Benz CLA 55, and that was a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder with 355 horsepower. So that's similar on the power, but different. They go about their power 2 different ways. That's a smaller engine with a turbo. This is a bigger 6-cylinder engine, still with 1 turbo. But yeah, that's kind of the only car I really had to compare this one off of. So. Stepping into the inside. Now we are greeted by a nice little kick plate. It has such a glare on it that says m240i. It's a nice little touch. Now you've got the tan leather, which is a nice touch. The only thing that this car is missing is a manual gearbox, but this has the industry standard ZF 8-speed automatic, which is fantastic. I cannot wait to get this thing out on the road. You've got the same Eco Pro and Sport buttons that the X3 that I just drove has. You've got an amazing M Sport steering wheel right here. I love the look of this. Paddle shifters, 8-speed, like I said. You got the typical 2 round dashes right there, or dials right there with the m240i. You've got a big screen here, controlled by the iDrive, which is right here. So yeah, this is a sports car that has all the creature comforts that you would want. Got some nice silver finish here on the vents there, and the door, and the dash. But yeah, this is impressive. I like this is the Sensatec leather. It's not full leather, but you've got a sunroof. You've got basically everything you need for a wonderfully tossable little sports car. So let's start this thing up. Alright, a couple other little things I want to touch about in this car. Now, this has a wireless charging pad right here, and if I take my iPhone 7 and put it in right here, that fits pretty well. Gotta check out my screensaver there. So that fits pretty well. You can see that it is working. I've never actually put my phone on a wireless charging pad before, which is kind of cool. Now, another thing that caught my eye is down here. This kick plate here has an M badge on it, so you can sort of see that this car has the pedigree of an M car, but just not a full-blown M. So it's kind of, this would be the way to get into it. Almost M car, you know. This car is under $40,000 with 340 horsepower. So that's very impressive as far as the small package with the big power. So it sounds really good. I just did an exhaust clip on the outside, which I haven't seen yet. We're gonna take this thing on the road and see how it's like to drive, and I'm very excited. Now, looking back at my channel, I haven't really driven too many coupe, you know, sports cars. I drove a Jaguar F-Type with a V6. You know, same amount of cylinders, but that car's way different than this car. That's a 2-seater. This is a 2+2 because we got 2 seats in the back. But yeah, other than that, not many coupes that I've driven. I drove a Corvette on a closed course for 30 seconds, so I'm interested to get behind the wheel to see how this thing performs. So we're going to take this thing on the road. I'm going to do a little bit of camera work focusing on me, and then we're going to stop and get the camera down and do some POV driving. So I'm going to leave that for the next video. I'm going to leave you hanging for this one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am so excited to get this thing out on the road. So big thank you to Sun Motors BMW in Mechanicsburg, PA for letting me take a look at this car. They've always been so gracious to me. Will, Peter, and Scott, thank you very much, guys. I will put their link in the description below. So stay tuned and watch that drive video. So hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.